Good Sunday morning, everybody. Good Sunday morning. Welcome to Sunday with Spirit. For my new people, this is not a political poll. This is a spiritual journey this Sunday. So I like to invite everybody to come together in a circle on Sunday with Spirit. Wherever you're watching, whatever time you're watching, the energy of this circle, this community, stays together. And as each person joins in, the vibrations rise a little bit more. One more piece to the puzzle, and soon we're going to raise the whole vibration of the planet. One person by one person. Today, if you're driving, you may want to save this for later. Do not drive with this. But today, I would like to swim with whales. So, when we're in our rooms, in our physical rooms, wherever we are, I would like us to take a couple of deep breaths and invite anybody that we want to come along on this journey. Any of our guides, any of our angels, our departed loved ones, our masters, our teachers. Because this is going to be amazing, this journey. And you've trained for it for months. One of the first things that you remember from your training is breathe slow. And as we take a deep breath and an even longer exhale, we slowly stand up in our mind's eye and walk out the door of our homes. And as we open the door, we go through a thin mist and we find ourselves on the familiar path that we walk down on these Sundays so often. And we see in the distance a beach. And we suddenly get very excited. This is what we've been training for months. We remember our first training session. Breathe slow. We remember our first pool session. How we poked our toes into our fears. Gently stepping in, only to realize they were unfounded fears. Just misunderstandings, miscommunications, misplaced. And as we walk down this path, we find ourselves at the beach. Yeah, there is a fire. And we sit in a circle. And we check our gear. And we're amazed. We're amazed at how little gear we have. From the first pool session with so much scuba tanks, masks, fins, wetsuits, blah, blah, blah. And now, today, we have one small bag. We've trained so hard, we know how to breathe underwater. We know how to communicate underwater. And we look around at the familiar faces of the circle. our masters, our teachers, our guides, our angels. And we hear the whale in the distance. Breathe. Slow. And we hear the ocean calling. We open up our gear bag, and in it is a suit of light, golden, bright light. And we don't slip into this suit. We wrap the suit around us like a rope. And we feel it change. We feel it change colors as it hits each of our chakras, enhancing them, cleansing them. Breathe. Slow. We find ourselves at the edge of the ocean, and we're reminded of our first pool session, putting our toe into the fear, realizing it was exhilarating, not fear. And we gently walk in, slip into the warmth, being surrounded by the liquid. And gently and calmly, we slip underwater. Instinctively, we know that there's a sandy bottom to meet at. And we form another circle, waiting for everybody to join us at their own time, at their own pace. And as we are in our circle, getting acclimated to the liquid, to the new atmosphere, we notice the aquatic life getting acclimated to us. Fish come up to us. Crabs. Seahorses. There's an octopus. Maybe a dolphin comes up. These are your aquatic power animals, helping spirits. Do they rest in your hand? Do they give you a hug? Do they nuzzle? What's the message? What message do they have for you? And as you breathe, slow, you hear the call of the whales in the distance. Everybody's together, everybody's ready. And as we look to the distance, we see a pod of whales. Mothers, calves, fathers. And we gather up everybody, all together, all one, wrapped in golden light. And we go to the whales, and they invite us to hang on to them, hang on to their flippers, swim with them, be with them. And as they slowly start swimming, the ocean landscape falls away. And you feel yourself diving with the whales down to the bottom of the ocean. The light changes colors. We've lost all reds. Greens, blues. Blue is all we see now. Darker. And we come to a section of the ocean floor. It's very blue. We can still see. And we notice it feels like it's an ocean graveyard. And the whales stop. And as you look into the whale's eye, you hear them say, if you have something you want to get rid of, this is the place to do it. If you have a fear, do you have misplaced guilt? Not good enough? Could have done better? The whale tells you to disassociate from that. Wrap it in light, that golden light of love, forgiveness, and drop it on the ocean floor. And some of us are a little apprehensive. It's been with us for so long. And you hear in the whale's eye, if you think you're going to miss what you let go of, pack it full of love. Fill that emptiness with love. And you notice when some people drop that is not serving them, it immediately gets covered by aquatic animals that feed on that golden light. Gives them nourishment. It's amazing to see. And the whale takes off again and drops you on the ocean floor. And it's so dark, but you can still see. And you notice there's bioluminescence, little underwater fireflies that are lighting our way. And we find ourselves on another path. And we see a city in the horizon. And as we move towards the city moves towards us. It's a magical experience. We are at the gates of Atlantis. And the whales are letting us know it's okay to explore. We are tethered by the golden light. And as we take time to explore, what do the buildings look like? Do you see any inhabitants? Breathe. Slow. Maybe you just need to sit. Become acclimated to Atlantis. And let them become acclimated to you. And as we sit in awe of this amazing place, feeling the power, hearing the sounds, tasting a little bit of the water, salty. It tastes different than the surface water of the ocean. We find ourselves standing and going through a door, and it's an Atlantean cafe. And there's somebody sitting at a table having some Atlantean coffee, tea. And they invite you to sit. And as you sit, the being shifts. And you are drawn, and you notice that you are looking directly into the eye of a whale. And the whale reminds you, this is our journey. You get to ask me questions. I didn't forget. And so as we ask a few questions, how did you do it? How did you stay alive? How did you not? How did you push through? Ask them if they have any advice that you can share to our circle. Ask them if there's something that you should personally embrace that you're not thinking about. Do you have any other questions? Anything you want to talk to them about? The time's getting close to leave. You reach into your golden pocket and pull out a gift. And you hand it to the shape-shifting Atlantean who is very surprised. very grateful. You remembered. Gratitude. And he gives you a gift. And he puts it in your hand. And as you look at it, you look at him and say gratitude. We feel the gentle pull of the ocean, a little tidal surge. It's time to go. And as we leave the city to Atlantis, we climb and join the whale pod as they take us back up to the surface through the colors. And we end up on our familiar beach as we raise our heads over the water. We notice it is nighttime, and yet we can still see, because there are bioluminescence in the sky, the stars. And we marvel at how similar the sky and the depths of the ocean are. We hear the whales breathe one more time, saying goodbye. And as we walk along that familiar path up the beach, still keeping on our golden suits of light, we come into our house. Take a few deep breaths. And we wiggle our toes. We wiggle our hands. We open our eyes when we want, when we choose. And we breathe slow. Thank you for joining me on Sunday with Spirit. Peace and love.